Yep. What's going on, everybody? We are the Painted Lines, and this is our post-game show for the Sixers and Atlanta Game 5. And that word speaks it all, Mike D. That word speaks it all. Embarrassing loss for the Sixers after being up by, I don't even know what the number was. They were up by damn near 30 at one point in this game, and they cough it up in the third and the fourth quarter. I'm with my boys here, though. I am with Dibes and Tiago, and we are going to break down this game for you and really get into the nitty-gritty of what we saw and how we feel about this game. So I'm going to start out with Tiago because he had some high hitters going on before we got on here. So, Tiago, what are you thinking, man?
I mean, I'm going to try to be as calm as I can because we're all heated. This is an all-time embarrassing performance in a postseason game. There's no questions about it. We need to have a serious conversation about Doc Rivers. And I think that folks that want to ride the Doc Rivers is a great coach because they won a lot of games this season wave, they can do that. I don't think you can look at this postseason critically and say that Doc Rivers has done a good job. He has gotten in the ways of multiple wins this postseason, and I thought that tonight it was an all-time embarrassing coaching performance. All-time embarrassing coaching performance. And I'll point directly to why that is. The Hawks had a Trae Young, Lou Williams backcourt for the entire fourth quarter. Now, you guys all watched the game. Did the Sixers at any point attack that backcourt? Never. And you're talking about two of the all-time worst defensive players in the NBA. And they're running mindless pick and rolls and trying to post up Joel off double, triple teams. It is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment that this guy cannot recognize what the matchup advantage is when your team is about to drop a critical postseason game. And I'll go a step further, man. That bench lineup he rolled out in the fourth quarter, that started the whole thing. And we'll be talking about this all year with Doc Rivers. He's going to end up costing his team a game because of that bench lineup. And guess what? It happened tonight. So I'm going to leave it right at that right now because it is embarrassing what we watched tonight. And it started with Doc Rivers.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody can disagree with any of the points you made about Doc. So, Dibes, what do you got going? What do you got for us?
An embarrassment. We talked about this during the pregame show that Doc Rivers has not done his job in this series. You talk about like 3/4 of this game. I kept on I was excited to talk about that Josh Richardson for Seth Curry trade. That's how this game was going. And sure enough, you just saw it unravel like game frickin' 4 between the first half and the second half. Even though the Sixers were up at the end of 3, they still had 8 turnovers? They could not handle the ball. You look at the Sixers, they were up 85-61 with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And the Hawks went on a run, like you said, Tiago, 15-2 run by that Hawks team. And then you look at, I look at this game and I look at directly, like you said, you knocked on Doc Rivers. I'm calling out Tobias Harris. This dude, the last 6 quarters, Tobias Harris, 57 minutes, 4 of 16 from the field, 0 of 4 from three-point range, 10 points, a -23. That is an absolute embarrassment. And just to piggyback off what you said, Tiago, this is a team that ran 0 plays in the second half. They didn't move the ball like they did in the first half. Joel got tired. We've seen this again and again and again in this series. The Sixers stop moving the ball in offense. It becomes stale. It just becomes a lot of watching. Like Joel, just lead us. But the problem is that luckily Seth Curry bailed them out with 14 freaking points in that third quarter. Outside of that, this could have been even worse. This could have been worse given how much the Sixers were dominating in that first half. Doc Rivers, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons free throws bit them in the ass again. Man, this is an all-timer. This is an all-time.
But just one more point on that, Chris, before Justin, you take over. Reason why Joel Embiid runs out of gas in the fourth quarter is because they don't run any offense outside of Joel Embiid post-ups and pick and rolls. And the fact of the matter is, I don't care how bad Ben Simmons is playing offensively. I don't care how bad he's shooting free throws. You have to post up Ben Simmons on Lou Williams when Lou Williams is on the court. Fact of the matter is, even if he gets fouled, the one free throw he hits every 5 is better than 0 points in the last 6 minutes. Like whatever they had, like 0 field goals in the last 6 minutes. So it's still a better offensive option than you trying to post up Joel Embiid every single possession because the guy's running out of gas. The guy's taking on a monumental load for your franchise. And he did it again tonight. He single-handedly shouldered his team through the first half and the first 3 quarters. You have to give him help. And when Lou Williams is out there, Trae Young's out there, I don't care how bad Ben Simmons is, you got to post him up. Tobias Harris, you got to post him up, man. You got to make him pay, period.
Justin, during the pregame show, what did I say was the key to winning this game? It was whoever wins on defense in the fourth quarter typically comes out in this series. The Atlanta Hawks shot 16 of 22. 16 of 22 in that fourth quarter. They cooked the Sixers. The Sixers shot 5 of 17. 5 of 17. Where you look at, I'm looking at the Sixers shot chart. They shot 1 of 4 inside the paint, where they dominated that in the first half. They dominated that in the first half of Game 4. I have never seen a team, have the blueprint of doing this, and it almost looks like Doug Peterson coaching the freaking Philadelphia Eagles last season because, go. They look great, and all of a sudden they just go against the blueprint altogether. They completely throw the playbook about how to dominate the Atlanta Hawks. I've never seen a team or a coach just go away from what works. I don't understand what is happening, Tiago. How do you explain that? The points in the paint, they're dominating, and then they just completely fall flat. They completely fall flat.
So the biggest thing I saw with it's tough because the whole game or the whole first half, you see Embiid sinking shots from just about anywhere on the floor, and he comes back into the second half, and it seemed like the same thing happened this game as it did last game, where he just could not get where he wanted to on the court. The ball was just getting turned over. People started missing shots. When the bench was out there, literally, I think Shake Milton, George Hill, and Dwight Howard all only hit 1 shot this whole game. I think all 3 of them only hit 1 shot. Yeah, I don't even think Dwight had a shot at all. Let me look at this again. Yeah, Dwight had 0 points. Shake had, let's look at this. Milton had 5, was 1 for 5 from the field. George Hill had 2, 1 for 5 from the field. Dwight Howard, 0 for 2 from the field. You can't, mind you, that's on top of Tobias Harris having 4 points, where he's averaging 25 to 30 points in the playoffs right now? In between that?
God.
You have
oh my God.
It's utterly ridiculous.
You're asking,
this game is just utter. I was watching this game oh my God, as soon as the bench lineup was getting killed, as soon as Seth Curry got killed for 10-15 straight possessions by Lou Williams, I wanted to blow my head off. I was like, what? I understand Seth Curry is scoring as well, but you got to at least try to send somebody else. You got to try to get somebody else on him. You got to try to do something.
And on top of that, when Atlanta went big with Gallo, he kept Seth Curry on the court, and Gallo hit a quick pull-up right over Seth Curry. It's what are we watching out there, man? What are we watching? So, I mean, the whole thing with Tobias, it's a coaching player thing. They're asking Tobias to be a ball handler in his offense.
No, but
Tobias
that's
the power forward.
You saw Tobias on the sideline with Doc, and Doc's literally yelling at him, bro.
Right,
take it to the rim.
Justin, Tobias Harris is a power forward, a ball handling power forward. He does not have the ball handling instincts and explosion that normal point guards do. So one of the things that we've been talking about a lot this season is playing Tyrese Maxey more, because Tyrese Maxey is that ball handler that you need in critical moments of the game to break the defense down. He has completely abandoned Ben Simmons as a ball handling option in his offense in the half court, right? Ben Simmons now another power forward, guy who sits in dunker spots and watches the offense. You need ball handling introduced into your offense, because Tobias Harris is just not that player, man. He's just not that player. So that leaves you with Seth Curry coming off handoffs. And it worked tonight, but late in the game, man, you have teams that win big, have multiple ball handlers on the court. in crunch moments of the game. And the Sixers have one. They have more than one, but they choose to use one. So you get what you got tonight, man. It's.
You ready for this, guys? You ready for this? The stat of the night. The Sixers, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid are shooting 6 of 32 from the field in the last 2 second halves. This is a basketball team that has one of the best point differentials in the second half all season long. That has been their calling card all season long. Defense in the second half, defense in the fourth quarter, defense in clutch time. 6 of 32, your top 3, which has led you all season long, the last 2 quarters, last 2 halves, in the biggest games of the year, have completely flat out choked.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I wrote about this at the beginning. I don't want to take a victory lap on Doc because I think Doc has done a pretty good job for most of the year. If you follow the Clippers team, there's a comment about the Clippers and Doc Rivers. If you follow the LA Clippers, their postseason history is riddled with meltdowns. Under Doc Rivers, riddled. We're going to say, well, the Warriors were a problem. Yes, the Warriors were an iconic team at that moment, but they melted down in the postseason. And what we saw tonight was another classic Doc Rivers meltdown in the postseason. So, again, I'll leave it at that. We can have multiple discussions about Doc Rivers. This series is not over. They can more than redeem themselves and win the series and go on and do big things. But as it stands today, I don't think anybody can critically say and evaluate and say, wow, Doc Rivers done a great job this postseason. He has not, and it bit him again tonight.
Can I say it does not make any sense to me how a team that, like, the Sixers were so good in late game scenarios all season against even in last series, all season really, they've been a great fourth quarter team. That's been the biggest thing since Doc has gotten here and since the elevation of Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid this year. What are the Hawks doing, or what are we not doing that we did differently all year? Because that's my biggest thing I'm looking at. I'm looking at Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, who have been fourth quarter killers all season. And now all of a sudden, right now, obviously, yes, we know Joel's slowed down by injury. Tobias maybe banged up too. I don't know. But my point is that that's not an excuse. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, do you guys see something that I'm not seeing?
I see a team that can't stop the Hawks on a run. When you've seen it again and again this season, where other teams go on a run, Tobias Harris steps up all the time. Joel Embiid steps up. Ben Simmons steps up. We've seen that routinely this season. You're not seeing that right now in these big moments in the playoffs. That's it. I think it's that simple, is that the Sixers have this ability to just go absolute zero in terms of their offense. Their offense, there's no ball movement. Oh, Jesus. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
No ball movement. No one moves. It is, and I don't understand, like I said in the beginning of this post-game show, I don't understand how Doc Rivers can do this in one half and then just completely throw out what worked. It happened again in Game 4 and Game 5. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss other than Tobias Harris, who has been the rock all season long. He's missing bunnies. He was 2 of 7 in pull-ups, within 10 feet, 2 of 5. This guy's not hitting his shots. He's getting his spots. He's just lost. Tobias Harris is lost.
Is this it right here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's going to be a lot of noise around Ben Simmons after this game.
How many free throws did he miss today? Let's see. He missed 4 for 14.
And we talked about this last podcast. It's what we're seeing from Ben Simmons. The free throw line is simply unacceptable.
Yeah.
I will say this. There's already a narrative built around Ben Simmons that if the Sixers lose, he's going to be the reason and needs to go. I would caution very wisely against making these hash decisions at this moment of the game, because what the Sixers may get in return for Ben Simmons, if they do go down that route, may not meet the value of the player. Whatever you think the value is, fact of the matter is the guy is a first-team All-NBA defender, one of the best shot creators in the NBA. So going down the path of we need to trade Ben Simmons, and because Ben Simmons is the reason why they lost at this moment, may not be the right path. Is this to say that they should not explore the option of improving their team in the backcourt through trading Ben Simmons? No. They should find whatever the venues are necessary to increase this team's offense. But this goes in hand with coaching, because if you're going to trade Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal, great. But how is Bradley Beal going to be used in this offense is what I want to know. Because what we see from the Sixers and Doc Rivers, I don't see it, man. The Sixers have an MVP player, and they are 15th ranked offense in the NBA. And then I don't care. Like, you guys, an MVP player. The Sixers should be a bona fide top 5, top 10 offense, and they're not. And they're showing in the postseason. So just be careful. We need to trade Ben Simmons. It may not be the answer.
Can I just piggyback off how unbelievably bad Doc Rivers was in this game? Joel Embiid was 7 of 8 points in the paint in the first half. 7 of 8. He was dominating, right? He was absolutely dominant. He was 1 of 2 in the paint in the second half. 1 of 2. What are we doing here, guys? I don't know what. I'm losing my mind.
And
Here's the real thing. Like, at halftime, the Sixers were shooting 50% from 3 and from the field in general. They end the game shooting 46% from the field and 43% from 3 as well. Biggest differences are the free throws, shooting 60% from the free throw line. Turnovers, 15. How many turnovers did they have in the third and fourth quarter? Because I can tell you what, they had under 10 going into half. We
could talk about the numbers, Justin. It's to me, this game is more than the numbers. I think.
No,
this game,
I know
it's
coaching, dude.
It's the whole thing. I mean, you come out in the third quarter flat, right? So if you remember the first couple possessions, they're running stagnant offense. They're not attacking Kevin Huerter. They're not attacking Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic has 3 fouls. You're try to run offense through the post. They're clearly now double, triple teaming Joel. The ball's not moving. So it starts there, right? And then you go on a run and you bring your bench in, and they immediately cough everything back. So, I mean, we can talk about turnovers. We can talk about, field goal attempts. But to me, it's just it's a lot of things, man. It's super disappointing. It was not what I was expecting to be talking about tonight.
No.
I'm at a loss of words almost because, you're building a narrative around, the unbelievable game that Embiid had and where this team stands moving forward. But, I don't know.
My biggest thing coming into this, going into the third quarter, I thought we were going to be coming in here talking about Seth Curry, talking about Embiid just going off. And now we're sitting here talking about a loss that was just I'm like you, T. I'm at a loss for words. I don't understand how this occurred.
It starts with Lou Williams, right? That was the catalyst. Lou Williams was the catalyst. He had 11 points, 13 points, and truly I need to see who was covering Lou Williams in that.
It was mostly Seth Curry. It was mostly when Lou Williams was going off. It was mostly Seth Curry on him. He was blowing by him. He was hitting step backs. He was driving into the paint and then hitting a step back midi. He was doing everything. He was the straight microwave he's been in his whole career. But it's part of me understands why you keep Curry in at that point, because Curry was also going off. They were trading buckets back and forth, and we were still up by 10 at that point. So it's okay, if they're trading buckets, what's the harm? But the real issue there is you can't let that keep going. Once Seth Curry started missing some shots, got to throw somebody else in there. And the fact that Gallinari was also going off at the same time, and they were, I think
our conversation moving forward needs to be about what are they going to show on Friday? I mean, you're talking about legacies that are on the line right now, man. You're talking about after a loss like that, does Joel Embiid, does Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris want to have something like this on their record, right? Because losing this series, man, that stays in your record.
Yep.
So to me, it's about legacy. It's about fight. It's about resolve. It's about showing that you are the better team, that you are the better players. And it's about Ben Simmons stepping up, Tobias Harris stepping up, Joel Embiid continuing to do what he does, but doing it consistently. It's got to start with those 3 guys, man. And I think at any effort, other type of effort on Friday, anything short of at least ultimate effort, I think we own a lot of criticism to this team, because what we watched tonight, man, it's not what championship teams are made of.
Nope.
That resolve that we saw tonight was simply not what championship teams are made of. And we can point fingers at anybody and everybody. And, I have my own folks to point fingers at. But the team's resolve tonight was not up to par.
Just to piggyback off Petronius, and I fully agree. Like the Sixers packed it in the second half. Trae Young was limited to 2 of 7 inside the paint. We talked during the pregame show of keeping him out of the paint. That's when he's so lethal. He was 4 of 6 in the paint in the second half. They just stopped. They dropped the ball. I don't know what else to say. Like you said, Justin, I'm at a loss of words. This is beyond a loss. This is demoralizing.
Yep.
And that's it. The long looks in the mirror, and the comment below that even says it. Like, this is the perfect year, man. They're not going to have a golden year to win a championship like this year. The Nets are falling apart physically, even though Kevin Durant is on another world. The Bucks can't get out of their own way. Kawhi Leonard's injury, CP3 now in COVID protocol. The Jets don't really scare anybody. There's not going to be a better moment to win a championship. If they blow this moment because they couldn't get themselves together at home in a game 5, that's really unacceptable. Flat out unacceptable.
So Doc Rivers just said, we'll get back up. We'll be back here for game 7. I believe that. So
not if he's going to roll out a bench lineup.
I don't believe.
I'll tell you right now, dude. If he plans to roll out Dwight Howard for 10 minutes or whatever, they ain't coming back. They're not coming back. Period. I'll tell you that right now.
The Sixers again had 34 points in the paint. 34 points. I swear to God, they were like.
Once again, say what they're averaging in the paint.
Yeah,
they're averaging.
Well, before game 4, they're averaging 58.7 points in the paint, and number 1 in the NBA. They had 34 points. This is the same freaking thing that we saw in game 4. They had 34 points in game 1. In game 4. They had 34 points here in game 5. Wait, no. Hold on. I need to go back. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Give me a sec.
Basically, what Dives is trying to say, though, overall, besides just crunching it down to small.
Oh, my God. It's worse. It's even worse. It's 30 points in the paint. I swear to you, I can't find on my notes, but they had around like 26 points in the paint after the first half when they were dominating.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Doc's inability to adjust or do anything in that second half has annihilated this Sixers team.
Yeah, Rashad, this is it right here. Blowing double-digit leads 2 games in a row in the second half in the playoffs speaks volumes. Lack of leadership and accountability. I don't think it's as much lack of leadership. I think it's just lack of putting your guys in the best position. Like, to me, it's as simple as that. Like, or not even putting your guys in the best position, going at the best guys to go at. Tiago, you said it best coming into this show. You said it best. You have the two of the worst guard defenders historically in Lou Williams and Trae Young that are playing heavy minutes in the second half together, and they did not attack them once.
No, because the option is to go through Ben Simmons, and for as bad as Ben Simmons has been playing this series, and nobody's going to deny the fact that he's been terrible offensively. Nobody's denying this. The guy's been really bad. Fact of the matter is, man, fourth quarter, Lou Williams is out there. You got to post Ben Simmons on Lou Williams, and you got to live with the consequences. You have to live with the consequences. And even if he hits 1 free throw out of 5, that's better offense than what you're getting, which is empty possession after empty possession. So, that's really where I landed in the fourth quarter. I thought that they completely missed the boat offensively, and not having the confidence to run the offense through your second best player, to my opinion, bit him in the ass. There's Ben Simmons is giving you very little reasons to be confident about his offensive game, but the guy is getting paid to be an impact player, and this moments of the game, you got to step up, man. But you got to put him in that position. And we said this many times. He does not run offense through Ben Simmons. If he runs through offense through Ben Simmons and he fails, guess what, man? Yeah.
Here's the other problem, though. It's not to me. Like, yes, it's a problem that you're not able to run that offense through Ben Simmons. But the other problem with that is you're supposed, because of that problem, that's why you have Tobias Harris, and Tobias Harris played like shit too. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Just Tobias Harris, you're asking him to do a lot on the dribble. Tobias Harris, he's played a great year,
I
man.
agree with that. I agree with
And
that.
he's just not that player, man. He's a power forward. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. He's had a phenomenal year, man. There's no questions about it. But he can get very stagnant in the post. The offense can really bog down when he's on the ball. There's a lot of over dribbling. Possessions go empty. And like I said, I mean, he's never found alternative solutions for when Joel and Tobias are not going. And to me, that alternative solution is pretty obvious. You got Lou Williams on Ben Simmons. You got to make him pay. You have to make him pay.
Yep.
And Ben Simmons didn't even touch the ball in those possessions. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've touched on just about everything. I feel like that. This felt more of a venting session than it did a legitimate post game show, because I honestly, it was so good going up into the third, and it just they got
evaporated.
They got it handed to him. I mean, Trae Young ended with 39 points in 40 minutes on 23 shots, so 17 of 19 from the free throw line. Now that's a point guard that can make free throws. So
what are you trying to say, Jess? Our point guard can't make free throws?
Oh no, I never said that. Never said that. I don't have to say it. It's shown on my TV every night. God damn.
Chris, we gotta look at some draft prospects that can hit free throws.
All right. Y'all have
Trey Murphy shooting.
Do y'all have any last points about this game in general? Or this series?
Seth Curry had a terrific night. I mean, Seth saved the Sixers there in the third quarter. It was literally a two-man game between Embiid and Seth Curry tonight. Seth is now shooting 22 of 37 from three in this series, 59%. That is absolutely terrific. Seth Curry deserves a lot of love tonight. It just wasn't enough. Outside of Joel and Seth Curry, it was a flat-out embarrassment, top to bottom. Ben's included, Tobias, everybody is included. Doc, you name it. It's this one's going to hurt. This one's going to hurt. Knowing Philly media, knowing social media in Philadelphia area, this is going to be a complete you know what. So this is going to be bad. This is like one of those losses by the Eagles where I just like tune out the radio for the next few days. This is it. This is it.
At least you don't got to wait a week now, though. It's just a day. Tiago, what you got?
Just to piggyback what Chris is saying, because I think it's spot on, is let's wait it out, the series play out before we start sending players out of town. Let's just see it play out. There's a lot of emotions right now. There are points to be made around breaking up the core, which are valid. Nobody's ignoring that. I think that the team's expectation should be at least the Eastern Conference Finals. If they do not meet those expectations, that conversation should be had. But this thing's not over yet. And for as bad as Doc Rivers has coached this series in the playoffs, I think that they have enough talent to overcome it and beat Atlanta on the road. And I'm going to be very interested to see how they come out when it's going to be like a raucous environment, man. That place is going to be rocking. So it's going to be the ultimate test, the ultimate resolve. And I think that if Ben and Joel are truly the star players that they are, and Joel has definitely made that statement this year, but if Ben wants to join that party, Friday will be a good time to do that for sure.
Gut check time.
Yep.
Definitely. And at least I will say, at least going into Atlanta, you can win in Atlanta. You already won once there. You can do it. So go win, come back for Game 7, and you got to get the job done if you're the Sixers. Because
can you imagine if they lose?
Like you said, this is a statement. If the Sixers lose 4-2 to a 5 seed Atlanta Hawks team, who really don't have one of their best defenders on the floor, in DeAndre Hunter. Yeah, and you're only missing Danny Green. And mind you, Danny Green's a big piece of this team, don't get me wrong, but you're only missing Danny Green, and Joel's putting up 30 points every night. That's embarrassing. And like Dibe said earlier, this will be historic on both Ben, Joel's, Doc's careers.
Major changes coming. Major. This is it, guys. This is
going to be a big problem.
Yeah, it's
a big problem.
Yeah, Friday night. This is the eve of like a lot of shit going down of what could happen on Friday night. So we'll see.
And I'll tell you what, if that does happen, there's zero doubt in my mind Ben is out of here. There's zero doubt in mind.
That's a hot take, Justin.
It's not. It is not a hot take. It is not a hot take. I think
right.
I think just about every Sixers fan understands the fact that has been a consistent conversation for the past 3 years. And Daryl Morey is not a guy who's scared to elevate the offense as much as he can.
Yeah.
And with how good Matisse has been in his second year in the NBA defensively, and how are the rookies and Tyrese Maxey and Paul Reed, how they've been able to draft the past 2 years, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't at all. And listen, we don't want to go that low yet, because I am a Ben Simmons fan. I know you two are as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him go. But if they lose this series, if they lose this series and Ben Simmons doesn't show up at all, they're not going to keep him around. It's not going to happen. They're going to try to shop him, just like they tried to shop him when James Harden was available. So
quick round the table. Who does he go for in return?
What?
Zach LaVine? You think that's good value?
That's been the conversation. I always hate those NBA trades where you get less value. You don't get the star. Anytime that happens, I don't know. I don't know what the math looks like.
All right, we don't got to get into that too much. I'm
a Ben Simmons guy too. And
me too.
Every bit of me is numb right now.
That can be another podcast talking about it if we get to that point. But right now, the series is 3-2. Sixers down. Obviously, not at all what we expected. We expected this to be 5-game, 6-game series Sixers. But, it's going to go to 7 if the Sixers are winning this stuff. So we're going to see what happens. And, guys, we will definitely see you for Game 6 in Atlanta.
Bet, guys, win or lose or draw. Maybe there's a draw or something we can talk about.
All right. Well, guys, if you have not already, please drop a like on the video, man. We drop a like for our happiness and your happiness. Just a quick sanity. Just for our sanity of coming on here and talking to you guys about this game, because I think all of us just wanted to go to bed right after that game. That was awful. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you love the NBA, if you love basketball, if you love prospect content for coming into the draft. Definitely subscribe. Any Philly content, subscribe. Any sports content, subscribe. Go follow us on all our social media accounts at The Painted Lines. Go follow us as well at Mr. Crockbot on Twitter, at TScabby on Twitter, and myself at J_Persichetti on Twitter. So definitely follow us, and we will be here for you guys to talk all sports.
Lots of Tito's on Friday.
Yep.
It's gonna be wild, man.
Sixers and 7.
Why not?
It better be. If they drop Game 7 at home, then it's really Armageddon.
Oh my God! All right, guys, we will see y'all next time. Try to have a good night's sleep. Peace.